Okay, apparently there's been a little trouble with, hold on. Um, learning the notes on the fretboard, what the scale is, all that good stuff, where your sharps and flats are. Um, Obviously the scale just goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. G sharp being the highest note, and then it just wraps around again. There's only 12 notes on the guitar, okay? So the scale, if you start on an E note, your top string is an E string. By the way, so is your first string. But your first note is open, it's an E, okay? First fretted note is an F, okay? There's no such thing as an E sharp. If you take an E and sharp it one, it's an F, okay? There's no sharp or flat between E and F and B and C. Okay, the dots don't tell you it's a sharp or flat. Okay, it's just E and F and B and C. That's just something you have to remember. It's like learning your alphabet. It's not that hard. Okay, so we got E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And if you notice, the E I landed on the 12th fret, which has 2 dots. That's your octave. That's your halfway point going up the neck. Okay. So this note's a G. That note is an A. Okay. This note in the middle here, and remember, it's not the dots that are telling me sharp or flat. Okay. This is a G. That's an A on the E string. Alright, if I move it down to here, that's a C and that's a D. But anyway, that's a G, that's an A. This note in the middle is either a G sharp or an A flat. So G sharp and A flat, it's the same thing as if you called it 6 or a half a dozen. It's the same thing. Now me and most other people I know, I'll call this note a G sharp. If somebody says play an A flat, I'll play an A minor. I'm like, what? They say if you're going up the scale, like F sharp, G, G sharp, A, you call this note a G sharp. If you're going down, like A sharp, A flat, G, I'm still always going to call that a sharp. It's just, you just cut your learning in half. It's good to know, but that's just me. It's not written in stone. But I always call notes sharp when I'm calling out scales or something, okay? So, learning the notes on the names of the strings. Your high string, your first one's an E, B, G, D, A, and that one's an E. So first of all, as you know, the top one and the bottom one's an E. Come on, dude, you only got 4 more strings to learn. It's not that difficult. I learned it by the little phrase, everybody good does almost everything. You can make up your own little sentence or whatever. So, as long as you know there's no sharp or flat between E and F and B and C, then it's easier to learn what note you're playing. So, for instance, your A string, first note, fretted note, is an A sharp. So what comes after A? B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Remember, there's no E sharp. So between E and F, there's no sharp or flat. Okay? E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. So your D string, you just keep going up the alphabet. D, D sharp, E, F. You know, something's going to be G. Then after G, you start over at A, so you wind up wrapping it around. Now, B string, your second string, first note's not a B sharp, because remember, there's no sharp or flat between E and F and B and C. So, B, C, C sharp, D. Okay, you just keep going up the alphabet there. So everybody good does almost everything. And there's no sharp or flat between E and F and B and C. That's just the rote memory thing you have to pay attention to. Alright? That makes sense. That's why if you know what that chord is, you can look at it, and some people cannot know notes, but they know that's a G chord because everybody's told them it's a G chord. Now sooner or later you need to know what notes make up a G chord, but that root note right there is a G. So if I played just that note and all the rest of the strings, it's going to be a G something. It might be a G minor 7 added third, I don't know, but that's a G. What's that? A lot of people look at it and go, oh, it's a C chord. Well, why is it a C chord? That root note is a C. Now here's where things can get kind of cattywampus. That's a Kentucky term, cattywampus. It means confusing, which I'm probably doing to most of you people right now. You may see some people play their C chord like this. What they're doing is they're adding in a G note, okay? Which within a C chord, that open G string, there's a G note inside and a C chord, okay? So, like when I play my D chords, I don't play just from the fourth, the D, open D, down. I play this A note too, because right there is an A note. To me it just sounds a little fuller, and I don't have to get my thumb way over to mute it like that. Anyway, I hope that helps.